Check, 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 1, 2. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of Hot Topic Celeb TV, Radio TV After Dark. I am your host, Dteflon on the MIC. Tonight, joining us, special guest, celebrity trainer, Marcus Smith will be in the building. Don't forget, you guys can find us at HotTopicCelebTV.com. Don't forget, each and every Tuesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, each and every Sunday for Sunday service, Hollywood actors, directors, producers in conversation. And also, you can check this podcast out if you missed this episode tonight. You can tune in and watch it on Saturday at 8 p.m. premiering live on HotTopicCelebTV.com. I am your host, Dteflon on the MIC. Tonight, joining us, special guest, my brother from another, Chocolate Thunder, Mr. Marcus Smith, celebrity trainer to the stars in the building. I want to welcome all you guys who are just joining in and hopping on to this new night. I hope you guys are having a beautiful week. Don't forget, you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under Hot Topic Celeb TV. So tonight, I am bringing into the Hot Topics chair my brother from another, Mr. Marcus Smith. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Check, 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 1, 2. Check 1, 2, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, of course, another edition of Hot Topics After Dark. I am your host, Dteflon on the MIC. Tonight, joining me in the building, Mr. Celebrity Trainer to the Stars, Marcus Smith, in the building.
What up, boy?
What up, guys? What up, ladies and gentlemen? This is my man. If you ever need in LA, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking to find a trainer to get you into tip-top shape, to get your abs tight, get that ass tight, get that body right for the summer, hit up my man, Marcus Smith. You can follow him at Marcus. Give me your Instagram channel.
Man, it changes all the time.
I know.
Currently, I think it's the Weight Loss Boss. But you can, if you type in Marcus Smith, you'll see a big bald-headed milk dud looking dude. That'll probably be your shirt off.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight, we're going to get into it, Hot Topics. We're going to be finding out a little bit more about the man. We're also going to be hitting some Hot Topic questions. We'll be firing off to Marcus as well, letting him tell his story of how he got into this crazy world of training, and also his life story and struggles and battles. So, Marcus, welcome, my friend.
What's
how you
up,
been, man? How you been?
Hey, always amazing, baby.
Always amazing. So how have you been adjusting, as I said, to this COVID-19 era pandemic life?
I mean, I don't even know if I had to make an adjustment. You know, I'm like water, baby. Bruce Lee said, "Be like water." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, look, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You pick the ball up and you keep going. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, to be honest with you, I didn't miss a stride.
Okay.
You know, I think that's my goal in life. You know, we were talking about this before we started, but
Mm-hmm.
I was playing ball back when I was playing.
Hold on a second. You cut out. You cut out there. Dial that back. You cut out.
Can you see me?
Now I can.
So I was playing basketball at Loyola Marymount back in my scholarship days, right?
Okay.
And I had this coach give me this book called Who Moved My Cheese, and I read the book. And anybody's ever read the book, it's a very popular book, but the book is about these mice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every day they wake up and they go and they find this cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one particular day, the cheese isn't there. And so they're in this maze and they're trying to figure out where the hell is the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're literally going everywhere in this maze trying to find this cheese. You know what I'm saying? Bumping their heads against the wall,
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find this cheese. And so I can't remember exactly how the story ends, but essentially what happens is one of the mice, he keeps going, and finally he finds some new cheese after bumping his head, you know. And so, you know, I know why my coach gave me that book, but that's the point. But I've held on to that story so tight because in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are no highs, there are no lows. There isn't any of that. It's just a steady stream of just flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, every now and then the cheese that you thought was there is going to get moved, and then you got to move with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But there's always cheese out there. Anybody who says there ain't cheese out there is tripping.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I mean, I think that's the thing. I mean, people, it's like I've always said before, like people have a habit of getting
Right.
comfortable in their settings, and for me, I don't like comfortable. I like
Me
being
neither.
uncomfortable
Right.
because if I'm comfortable, I'm avoiding potential disasters, and I even though I'm not saying I'm a fortune teller, but I predicted if you had spoken to me 7 years ago in a conversation I had with somebody, and someone used to ask me like, "Yo, why are you involved in so many damn things? Like you've done everything. You've worked in this and you've done that and you've done that." They go, "Just why don't you just pick one thing?" I'm like, "No," because I have this feeling in the back of my head that I'm like, if the world stops today, I don't want to be dependent on that one thing, that one job, that one income, that one situation. So I got to figure out for myself, how do I keep planting the seed? So it's like if I book a job or I get a job or whatever, like I'm always thinking about, as you say, the next cheese, the next job, the next thing that's going to bring that cheddar to me, so that exactly what you said, like for some people in this situation of 2020, they had a hard time adjusting. Like
Hmm.
for me, don't get me wrong, it was hard for me because I went through. I mean, from the last time we saw each other, like I went through some personal things, and I
Hmm.
had my own mental situations that I was dealing with, and I took myself, like when I say out of the equation, like I was off the grid for like
Hmm.
a while, and then when I finally sort of like started feeling myself, and I was like, okay, I cleared out all the fat, all the shitty people, all the the toxic nonsense that can happen in this business.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'm ready to jump back in the game and get it going. And then, wham, COVID-19. Not only did I get COVID-19 and was laid out with it,
Hmm.
but just the pandemic of the world. And then, we started shooting a production, which is Dorner. 2 weeks into production, because at first, obviously, when this COVID thing came around, I don't think anyone really knew that it was going to take on a life of its own. Like we all sort of were, oh, 2 weeks, stay home and it'll go away.
Right.
And here we are, fucking almost 2 years into it, and not much has changed,
Right.
and that's where I think like the mental adjustment. But for me, because I had so many other avenues going on, it was easy for to say was, and this is why I say like 2020 for most people, it needed to happen. It
Right.
needed to happen because everyone was going at this pace, but now they were forced to stop and
Hmm.
self-reflect
Hmm.
and look at the mirror, look at the things you may have been avoiding, the things that even you being a trainer, like it's like I'm sure you deal with people sit there and say, okay, Marcus, I want to get in shape, I want to have abs, I want to have this, and you're like, okay, I can do that for you, but you got to do that for yourself. Meaning the simple
And
fact that
yeah, go ahead.
you got to train, you got to get up, you got to do the things, because I can tell you what to do, I can show you what to do. But if you're
Hmm.
not disciplined to actually do them,
Hmm.
then what's the point? And that's where I look at 2020, where I'm like, okay, it is what it is. This is the cards that were dealt. How do I play this chessboard? So for
Right.
you, like, I want to start like, how did you first get, like, was fitness your first passion? Did you have, was it something you said, okay, I always want to be a trainer, I always wanted to help people? Like, how did you get into the business?
Okay, so let me say this. Like,
Okay.
my mother is probably the sweetest person I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
I've got, golly, I don't even know, man. I've got 8 brothers and sisters, something crazy
Wow.
like that.
Okay.
My mother's a nurse, and
Same. Same.
she's just a helper by nature. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So I do think I get a lot of that from her spirit. My mother has a very helping, very nurturing spirit. You know what I'm
What's your
saying?
background? Where are you? Where for people that don't know, where are you originally from?
Yeah.
Like, what's your
So
background?
so I was born in Texas,
Okay.
Huntsville, Texas, and then I grew up in the Bay Area, and then I became a real man out in the city of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So so back when I was growing up, man, my mother wanted to keep me out of trouble, so boy, you go play basketball, football, I don't know, but you're not gonna be ripping and running these streets. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I started to get out there, man, I was always born with this sort of aggressiveness, this sort of
Mm-hmm.
is sort of tenacious. I was always tenacious,
Mm-hmm.
and so that just translated into sports. Being able to anticipate. See, a lot of people think sports is about there is some skill,
Mm-hmm.
but literally you can take the person with the most determination typically wins.
Mm-hmm.
The person who says, "Mother, I ain't losing. I ain't losing today."
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of that, so that's kind of how I wasn't the most skilled player, but
Mm-hmm.
I was probably the most determined for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how I got by. And so, I think for me, man, I got out of college, I started acting, and did a whole bunch of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I just ended up in a situation where I needed some money, man. And you know what I
And
mean?
acting
I
is
needed
not the
some
game
money.
if you want to make
And
make money in the beginning. It is not the game. There's a lot of easier jobs you can do.
I needed stability,
Mm-hmm.
and I never thought it was sitting right up under my nose. A lot of times we overlook things because
Mm-hmm.
we have an idea of the way we want God to bless us,
Mm-hmm.
and not knowing that is literally sitting right under your nose. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, and ironically enough, it's the one thing I didn't want to do. If someone asked me about personal training or private training, I'd be like, man, I'm not your trainer. I'm an athlete. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Washington. Who you talking
Mm-hmm.
about? You know what I'm saying? So that was my approach to it. And sure enough, man, let me tell you something. It is the best decision I have ever made man, I done made a lot of dumb decisions. I done made a couple good ones. This is definitely mark this one up in the good box, man, because at the end of the day, no matter how much no matter how much I make, or anything like that, man, there is no better feeling than helping someone else do something that they wouldn't have been able to do on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's deeper than just training somebody, because at the end of the day, a push-up is a push-up, is a squat is a squat. It's deeper than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like sex,
Definitely.
right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because some people just aren't compatible,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like some people gonna make you do something, and some people make you do a whole lot. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And so to be able to have that influence over people, man, is I'm so blessed to be able to have that, and I
Mm-hmm.
take it very seriously, and I don't abuse it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I'm here to help, inspire, motivate in any way that I can, because let me tell you, I've been through a whole lot, and I ain't Superman or nothing like that, but I'm very headstrong, um, and I'm an alien, man. I've been through a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? And so if I could do it, man, anybody can do it. I'm no different than anybody else. The only difference is
Mm-hmm.
I don't quit.
So, like for you, like I mean, making that transition from Texas to LA,
Hmm.
was it an easy transition for you when you first came out? Like when you first came out to the city, or you
It
know?
was. It was for me. But what happened is I actually was born in Texas, and then as a
Okay.
baby, I moved to the Bay Area, Travis Air Force. My dad was a military guy, so my dad
Okay.
was commando, sit your rump down. So he was like that. So we was always moving around from place to place, and what was interesting is when I moved back to Texas, and so when we got to Texas, it got real out there, because
Hmm.
the country boys wasn't trying to see no shiny bald head dude come out there and take
Definitely.
ball on them and then take their girls. That ain't happening. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So, honestly, I didn't feel comfortable, to be real with you. And I did not feel comfortable, and I wanted to get out of there, because jealousy is real, man. Jealousy.
But did you ever, I mean, do you feel it was more jealousy, or did you ever feel like, that, like, did you ever have any experiences dealing with racism, like even like from Texas and like growing up as a kid? And
Well, yeah. I mean, Texas. Yeah, there was Texas. It wasn't so in your face. I mean, it
hmm
was, but it was very kind of segregated. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
the black people, and I guess that's everywhere. It was like that when I got to LA, the Bay Area, which is where I'm from. It's
hmm
not so much like that to me.
hmm
It didn't feel that way. You right? It's like, but then I got to LA, man. When I got to college, and I got to the city, and you realize, okay, so the black people clubs is over here, and the white clubs is over here,
hmm
the rich people clubs, and the Jewish community, and it's so, and even though we all kind of get along in this whole melting pot, it's still very, we over here and y'all over there, you know, kind of thing. And so I really don't get down with that, man. I love everybody, man. I'm just trying to get in. And by the way, I ain't trying to get in nowhere. I fit in everywhere.
But did you ever have an encounter where you had to, be obviously in an uncomfortable position in those situations, and like feeling that ever, like, being a black guy, being in the situation, being in a new city, whether it's dealing with police or dealing with, just an outsider that just doesn't like you and just doesn't like the color of your skin?
Of course, I've had so many instances with that, man. I remember one day I got pulled over in Inglewood one time, and I was on my way, I don't know, to do something, and I was driving my dad's old Maxima. Shout out to my pops who let me hold down that Maxima. It was talking to me, man.
The Maximas were the shit in the 90s, boy.
You turned and the whole car would turn. And with you, it was cool. But yeah, man, I was driving my dad's old beat up Maxima, man, and guy pulled me over, and he came out. He came to the car. Get out. I didn't have my license on me, right?
Okay.
And because I didn't have my license on me, the guy was. See, a lot of times what I think a lot of people don't get, right, is it's not right.
Hold on, you froze. Dial that back. You froze for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
You gotta stop moving. You gotta find a good area in there, because every time you move it, cuts the connection out. You're still spinning here. I can't see. Okay, there you are.
Okay.
Okay.
So you know what? I'm gonna have to charge this phone up in a little bit. But
you want to we want to go grab your charger and plug it in. I'll wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to cut out while.
Okay.
Guys, don't forget, if you're just joining in tonight, another edition of Hot Topics Radio TV After Dark podcast. If you have any questions, guys, you want to ask, please drop them below in the comments, and we will definitely take you answer. I'm also be taking callers in if you want to jump in on this conversation. And if you have any questions for myself or Marcus, we will let you in. Just send me a request halfway through, and we will let you in into the conversation. Also, don't forget, you can check us out each and every Sunday night. Don't forget, next Sunday, for all you Power fans in the building, joining me, Shane Johnson, a.k.a. Cooper Sachs, will be in the building. Also, if you miss any episodes from the previous weeks, you can log on to the website by clicking the link in the bio. I will be giving away a VIP giveaway that you can just very easily enter the contest. You just got to go to the bio in this page and subscribe when you get into the link onto the website. And you get your chance to win a VIP package plus a special one-on-one exclusive video call with an A-list celebrity that will surprise you on chat. So don't forget, also, you can check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook Live under Hot Topics Celeb TV. I'm your host, Dteflon. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at DTEFLON. We will wait till Marcus Smith to get back. So we were taking a little break here. Hold on, we just lost Marcus here. What up, everybody? Good night, good night, good night. If you're just hopping into the room, good night. Welcome to another edition of Hot Topics Celeb TV. Let Marcus back into the room here. Check. 1, 2. There it is.
Yeah, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, back tonight. Welcome into another edition of Hot Topics After Dark. Celebrity trainer Marcus Smith in conversation in the building.
What's happening? What's going on?
Okay. You're back now.
I'm ready now.
Okay. So continue where you left off. You said you got pulled over.
Yeah, so I got pulled over, and the guy was like, where's your ID? Where's your license? Where's your registration? I said, I don't have it on me. You know what I mean? And he was like, okay, you step out the car. And it was how he was handling me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't have to say anything. My energy as an actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this is the thing that I wish that a lot of people who maybe don't understand what it's like as a black man or as someone of color to kind of go through these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like look, we're talking to power, right?
Mm-hmm.
People have power, they have control, right? And so when they come to the car with a certain tone and a certain. Let me go ahead and reverse this.
Dude, it's almost the same as you go into a club. Like if you go to a club and you go to the front door and you get attitude from a guy working at the front door, it just sets your whole night off. Like you're in the bar, you drink, you're like, I don't want to spend my fucking money on this place now. Like it just sets your whole mood, and it's the same thing people don't get. So continue.
So this dude was getting hot. He's thinking I'm lying to him, and I can't remember exactly what was going on. So I won't say, but I just know I ended up cuffed, and something crazy was going on, and there was a black lady who was walking by. She stopped and she started praying. She started, and I couldn't believe it. I was in Inglewood. Really, this black lady just started praying out of nowhere. And I was just like, is this really happening right now? I'm like, dude, my name is Marcus Smith. I went to Loyola Marymount. It's a private school. My backpack is right there. No, you're not. Where's your, so this guy, finally, I gave him my driver's license number. And finally, he was able to, figure out that I was who I said I was. But man, this guy was saying, you fit the description of a murderer. Like, I mean, all this kind of stuff. I couldn't believe he said I fit the description of a murderer. Do I look like a murderer to you? Like apparently I do. So anyway, that's one of them types. But man, I've dealt with that kind of stuff all my life.
But what do you say to people? Because I'm whenever this is the thing. Like for example, like when you and I'm gonna rapid fire you with a few questions here in this subject. So like going back to the George Floyd situation, when you first saw that video, what was your reaction to it?
I was hurt, man. I was upset. I was angry. Yeah, I was very hurt by, one of the reasons why I don't F with too many people is because of shit like that. Life.
What do you mean? Explain what do you mean by that?
Well, at the end of the day, right? It's like an actor. We can become a different character at any given point in time, right? Well, the same is true really in real life. Here's a guy who I don't know if he had kids or wife. I don't know.
Yeah, he had kids.
I don't know. I don't care. But somebody loved him. Somebody thought he was a great guy, right? I mean, did the guy do? I'm sure he did some good in his life. Right? But here he is. He's got his neck on somebody. He's got his knee on somebody's neck, right? And it is a scary thought, man, that we don't have any sort of common decency, right, for one another. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be your blood to call you my brother or to treat you with some sort of decency, right? It's like, and to me, it's the shit's out of control, man. The shit. I mean, because on camera. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine all of the stuff that hasn't been caught on camera? Before there was cell phones and before there was Motorola. It's like, yo, can anyone not understand? Man, I don't even want to get into it, man.
But what do you say to the people like who, because of course there's always when these situations happen. You'll hear people, whether it be on social media, whether it be Candace Owens, whether it be the media or the news, first thing they'll do is, well, if he had just complied, that wouldn't have happened. Or you get the people who will do their social digging. They'll try to automatically try to dig up something from that person's past from 15 years ago. And they'll be like, well, if he didn't commit this crime back in 1996, this wouldn't have happened. Or if he wasn't on drugs, this wouldn't have happened. To me, and this is where I have the frustration on the subject, is that what does any of that matter? Because what that person did.
I'm still trying to understand. I don't understand that. Like, from the way I was raised is that there's only one person that's going to be really doing the judging of somebody, You know, let he who hath not sinned cast the first stone. And so don't. And by the way, one sin is just as equal to another, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for someone to sit here and say, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody walking on planet Earth that is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
And no, we put police officers in office to keep us safe. Us, not
Mm-hmm.
just a couple people, not just
Or one race, or
all
one.
of us. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the inequality in that, it's just crazy, man. Like honestly, I can't even. It's hard for me to even have the conversation because it gets me so upset that we're so far
Mm-hmm.
in how we see that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Man, I mean, I get. I really try not to. But with a lot of my white friends, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes have to bite my tongue and
Mm-hmm.
I see stuff because it's like, man, yo, we are some
And this is the
resilient.
thing. This is the thing. This is the thing. You know, and I get it because I get that I've had to bite my tongue because again, when you are a public figure, we have to bite our tongue a lot more than
Right.
a lot of people. That's why for me, like when I started up, you know, I decided to take the hosting job on the show. Was like okay, like this was a way for me to express things freely
Mm-hmm.
in an open because for me, I was a person. I won't. I'm not one of these social media people that will, you know, see a troll and whatever and go back and forth. Like I just don't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have a discussion, you want to have a debate, I'll debate with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But you better bring facts to that debate.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just come and be talking a lot of shit. And for me, where I've always had to bite the tongue is where people of the opposite skin tone of me and you
Mm-hmm.
always try to tell me how I should feel
Right.
in these situations, especially when number one, they either because for me, just like you, I've had my share bit of dealings with the police when I was younger, even as an adult. And every situation, some really bad, some better than others, but regardless, it's a situation. And unless you have been in that situation,
Right.
you can't speak on it. But it's when people want to speak and they're like, or you get the people that sit there and say, like when the news media politicians, you know, when they say, well, do you have a racism problem, sir, in your city? Well, they're like, oh, you know, it doesn't happen in this area as much. It doesn't happen in that area. And I'm like, and I'm always looking at them going, forget the fucking as much. Like it shouldn't happen to begin with in the first place. But
Right.
don't come on the news and then you get the people who say, well, it's not, you know, it's not white people, you know, burning down buildings and breaking up their own neighborhood and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, again, I'm not saying destroying our own property is a good thing. But when we've had so many situations where you've complied, you've had no weapon, you've been sleeping in your fucking house, you've been walking down the street, and you end up dead. And then you do a protest, peaceful protest. We go to trial, acquitted. Then the process starts all over again. 5 minutes later, somebody else is in the news. We fucking hashtag the name. We go in the streets, we protest. A couple things get burned in buildings, and it's like, you can rebuild the building. You can rebuild it. You can't bring back someone's life that's been taken. And to me, exactly what you said, cast no stones, is that where if you are a person, this is what I want to ask you, do you feel that, say for example, like you make a mistake when you're 19 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and you now, as you said, George Floyd became, you know, an older guy, had kids, family, whatever, but he had a drug problem. I'm not going to sit there and deny that. But we all, me and you, we both in this business, we know people that have had drug problems. They make terrible decisions when they have drug problems.
Mm-hmm.
But should they be held for things that they did in the past their whole life? Does that make them a criminal their whole life?
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. You know, we gotta knock that off, man. I mean, if that's the case, if that's the case, I mean, we can go up and down the line. Bill Clinton was in the White House when they're in the White House, doing all kinds of stuff. He wasn't supposed to be doing. Man, we all do it. Let's be real for a second. Let's be real. Donald Trump was just over there talking about grabbing somebody by the nah. Like, I mean, come on, man. Let's be real for a second now. But now we talking about life and death. We talking about somebody desert. No, man, come on, man. And see, when people say that to me, you know what it makes me feel like? It makes me feel like they are looking for a way, right? To not have to deal with it, right? To not have to deal with the reality of what's going on, man. I had this one white friend of mine, Vacaville. He was trying to tell me that there is no such thing as racism or and I'm looking at this guy and
what planet are you living in?
I'm just looking at him going, wow, man, that is and by the way, I have a friend of mine. I won't say her name, but I hope she sees that she'll know exactly who she is. She posted something on her page talking about LeBron James should be happy in this country. What is he doing? Talking about he feels scared to come outside of his house. He has $100 billion and he's done well in this country. How dare he get out there and act like this isn't the greatest country in the man? What are you talking about, man? So one of us, it becomes a bit. One of us, what couple of us become now? All of a sudden, we posted, yeah, buddy, black people, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and you get out there and you go earn. Like, man, are you for real? This is. I mean, like, I'm looking at this and I'm going, really? So you mean to tell me, man? Listen, LeBron James' ass is black. That big, tall, goat eating, buffalo eating. Yeah, he can play some basketball, but take him out that uniform. And this is how crazy it is. Some people might not even know who he is. They'll treat him like he from the wood. You know what I'm saying? Like yo.
Well, the reason why people are up in arms right now with him is because the day of the acquittal, the guilty verdict of Derek Chauvin, and the Ma'Khia Bryant situation with that cop. I mean, to me, that shooting was justified. Like, I've worked in law enforcement. I know the situation. I know what the procedure is. I know what the priority of life call that they have to make in those situations. It's either, sacrifice both lives or make a decision to save one. And he made a decision that only decision that he could make, because they're not trained to shoot in the leg. They're trained center mass to take out whatever's in front of them that's an initial immediate threat. And immediately, obviously, because, again, the news, the media, to me, which has been the biggest virus of this whole pandemic situation, is that they don't care about putting out accurate facts. They care about putting shit out first. And when they put out the misinformation, fresh off the verdict of another police officer kills a black girl in another part of town, automatically, when people are already on emotions, already taking in what just happened, and then LeBron tweeted the picture of the officer saying, you're next. And then 2 hours later, when the facts came out, he took the tweet down. And this is where people were like, going, he should be stripped of his endorsements. He should be stripped of his thing. Like, did he
made a mistake? I mean, is this like, I don't understand. Is this rocket science? Is this like Chinese math? Are we doing Chinese math right now? Is this pop quiz? Like,
what up, Roger? What up in the building?
I mean, the dude had a reaction based off of however many 30. How old is that dude? 34 some odd years of his life being black, being a black man in this country. He spoke up without having the facts. Whoop the fucking dude. He was wrong. Sue him. Like, get the fuck out of it. I mean, excuse my language.
This is open, man. You can swear on.
it's just dumb, man. The dude apologized. He said he didn't have the face. Okay, my bad. You know, I rushed to judgment. Who hasn't done that before?
Mm-hmm.
You know what
But
I'm saying?
that's the problem I think I have with social media is that like everyone's quick to just vilify somebody.
Yeah.
Without even having a conversation with them, without even knowing the person, without even talking to them. I mean, like for example, like our brother, Shamar. You know, if you remember all that nonsense that went on 2 years ago, you know, he's gay and this and that. Remember the picture where you guys were on his, when you're on his, like all that stuff. And it was just like, and I put out like, you know, a post when that shit happened. And I went in because you ain't going to talk shit about my brother and let me just sit back. Cause I know he's, Sham's always going to be cool. And then when he did the baller alert, you know, video, I was like, okay, now I know I can get in because I'm not going to speak for you.
Right.
But once I know that you are like letting them know, I'm like, I went off. Like, I was like, this is the thing is that like, you know, because people always ask me like, oh, what's he like? And this and I'm like, listen, like, there's not a damn thing I will not say good about my brother. Why is because people forget what you see on TV is not sometimes what's reality, you know, and people when they don't know someone, they're quick to judge. They're quick to, and I'm like, did you even talk to that person? Did you even have a conversation with that person to get to know? Because you'll be surprised what a lot can come about actually communicating. But it's like people are always looking for that clickbait on social media. They're always looking for that scandal, that story, that, and that's the thing about this business. This business will give you everything. But then, and people want to see you doing good, just not better than them. And once you reach to that certain fucking mountaintop, it's like, you know what? I'd rather see you crash. I'd rather see you fall because it was like, you look at, for example, you know, certain individuals who have been from the history of time, Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby. People love them.
Right.
But as soon as they start getting a little bit of something where they're about to make either like Michael Jackson, he was about to buy the Beatles album. Suddenly he's fucking drugged to death and dies. Bill Cosby is about to buy into NBC. Suddenly fucking out of nowhere, all these victims from 30 years ago, hey, he did this. And this is how, to me, the trend continues. It's almost a point where it's like they hate to see us rise. Because it's almost like feel like once we get to a certain point, it's like, okay, he must have. It's like he didn't earn it. He didn't deserve it. He didn't, you know, he shouldn't have that. And that's why even when Shams first got, like, even after when he left Criminal Minds and he took that hiatus. And then when he landed SWAT, I was one of the first people to call him and I was like, bro, I said, this is it. Like, this is sink or swim here. Because, you know, I had said to him for years, it was like, you know, when you go to the comments and you know, he would always say, you know, I want to be in the same conversation with Denzel, same conversation with Morgan Freeman, the same conversation with George Clooney, the same conversation with Jamie Foxx. And I was like, look, when you look at guys like Denzel and you look at guys like Morgan Freeman, what are they known for? Their work. Not about how good they look. Not about how nice their body is. Their work. And I said, you need to change the narrative of, because there's only, as you know, in Hollywood, there's a small majority of us that get that break. And when you get that break, you got to seize it, because it doesn't sometimes, it won't come around twice. And it's like for you, like, you know, you're in LA where, you know, and this is the thing where I think for you, what gives you with being a trainer and being able to train the people is because, dude, there's not a lot of, especially in Los Angeles, I know that are black trainers and actually have a steady flow of clients the way you do. Like you may get the, I mean, to me, the way I look, you're like the new modern day Billy Blanks without the DVDs.
I got a couple. I got a couple on demand deals. I got a couple. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like for you, like what has been your key to your success factor in the industry?
What is the key? What is the key
For you?
You know, I think the key. What is the key? And what is the key for me? The key for me has been keep going. The key for me has been keep believing in yourself.
Okay.
Right? Know that everything you do matters. You know what I'm saying? It matters. The key for me has been do something positive.
Okay.
For yourself every day, because it's like compound interest. You know, it may not pay off now, but later on, you know, you start to reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so for me, that's been the key, man. Like, you know, hey, I love to have a good time too, but even on them long nights, I'll get my behind up, get back to it. You know what I mean? And so the key for me has been consistency. The key for me has been being uncomfortable, you know, and staying uncomfortable. You know, it's like I had this client one time. I said, man, you know, we were talking about different goals, and you know, the mother didn't want me to mention, you know, weight. We didn't want weight to be a goal. I said, and so I said, how about this? How about faith is key? Absolutely, I agree with you, Stephen. Absolutely. And I said, how about the goal is to stay uncomfortable during the workout? Because if you're uncomfortable, then I know we're moving in the right direction. And a lot of times people approach exercise as this thing that they want to be. They want to be. They want to be easy. They want to be easy. Yeah, and it's and there is no. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Like I love it. I love, man.
And comfortable with being in your own skin. That's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. And what's crazy about it is that there are people who want to make you feel uncomfortable in your own skin. You know, it's just crazy thing. It's like I said, I love when we do this. I love when we do that. I actually never
thought about that until right now.
It's true, man.
Until right now. I'm gonna have to write that shit down.
They make women want to do one of these, and you know, it's like, nah, dog, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, you know.
But I mean, how for you, like, I mean, with nowadays, with people who are, you know, because again, there's trainers and stuff like that. But nowadays, you seem more people are able to take the easy way out by surgeries, buying a butt, buying fucking chest, buying whatever. So how do you battle and deal with that hurdle?
In what way?
In retrospective, like where, you know, has the fact that surgeries for people has gone up, has it decreased, you know, your business in any way, shape, or form?
No. In fact, it's just made it hasn't hurt my business at all.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you cannot run. There is no replacement for self-care. You know, there is no, our bodies as human beings, right? We're supposed to move. And so what happens is when people go and they get these surgeries, right, what they're doing is they're putting a Band-Aid a lot of times over the problem. See, you still got to fix the problem. So you still got to come see me. If you don't, if you're lacking the motivation, you're lacking the accountability, you're lacking the know-how, you still got to come see me. You want insurance on that, and to make sure that you get where you still got to come see me. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna be right back, and this time they're gonna tell you, "Sorry, we can't do it because we just can't operate on you like that," and you're gonna be looking messed up. See, this is the thing with the surgeries, right? Is you take the fat out, and it depends on the type of surgery, obviously. But in my experience, what you have to be careful of is, again, like I said, putting a Band-Aid over the problem when you don't figure out the cause of it. The cause is that you're not moving and you're eating more than you take in, a whole lot more, right? So you gotta get that together, You know,
Mm-hmm.
now you can take some fat out of there and you can do some under your arms and get some under your inner thigh. You can do that for now. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't fix the problem, you're gonna be in a world of hurt because see, here's what happens with fat. It just
Mm-hmm.
moves around, right?
Okay.
And so now you looking very unsymmetrical. You know what I mean? You're not looking very symmetrical because now the fat has just found another place to go, right?
Okay.
Nah, it doesn't hurt me at all. You know, in fact, I love when people tell me that they're considering getting it because then I go, okay, pay me
Mm-hmm.
more because these surgeries are not cheap. It's funny how that happens. People will find $5,000, $6,000 to go pay for a surgery,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't find the money for a gym membership, a pair of dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everything. Why is it that we always want nothing worth having is going to be easy?
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers me, man, that we don't see the man. Listen, there's nothing better than feeling good about yourself. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That is the best.
See, but the thing is that I agree with you. But the problem, what happens is, I believe, especially when it comes to, as you said, self-care, is that we have, due to the era that we're in because of social media
Mm.
and just the media in general, we've defined, especially for women, what beautiful is. Like, they're making the narrative. It's like when they show the Kardashians and they show, this girl who's got the $1 billion body on social media. They think that, okay, that's what being beautiful is. And this is where women now are always looking at the next girl, or the guys looking at the next guy. Like, how do I look like that? And how do I become that? And I could do it your way, but that's just too long. I gotta do it the quick way. So I gotta spend the money on the surgeries. And
why but why do you have to do it? Why do you have to do it the quick way?
that's the $1 million question, bro. You're the trainer. That's the $1 million question that I ask.
Because there is no. How long you study acting?
I've been in the game since '96.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it doesn't work that way.
That's the thing. I had to train my ass off. That was the thing, and because it's like a muscle. It's like a muscle. You got to keep working at it to get better. But for most people, as you said, they want that quick Band-Aid effect because now it's accessible. When I started, there was no fucking internet. There wasn't this fast gratification. Like, you had to put the grunt work in no matter what the fuck you did. Doesn't matter whether you're an actor or musician. Like, you have to put the grunt work in. Now it's like people are looking at where it's like, if you're even women who date, it's like if you're not looking a certain way, they're not fucking with you, and they're looking for the Ken doll, the Ken doll on the internet, and the guy's looking for the Barbie doll, but they want, as I said, that instant thing because they're like, well, if she's getting a lot of followers and she's getting a lot of attention, and I'm over here, grinding it out, struggling, why should she have that life and me not have that life? So I don't really want to listen to my trainer. I want to.
Well, why should she? Because she worked her butt off. She probably worked her butt off, and she probably did something that you're unwilling to do.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about what she's doing.
That's what I was saying.
Won't you do what you're supposed to do? Because see, everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own obstacle. What may be easy for me may be difficult for you.
Mm-hmm.
What may be difficult for you may be easy. And vice versa. So you can't really compare. It's frustrating to me when I hear people compare their journey to someone
else's.
Oh, look at everybody. Oh, look at this. Look at that. I promise you, that person over there going, hey, she's that girl got something too. So everybody to me, right? Everybody's dope. Everybody's got something about them that is magnetic, that is useful to the world. Right? But
do you feel social media plays a pressure to it? Do you feel social media plays a pressure?
Of course it does. Social media, society. I mean, of course. But at the end of the day, that is what it is. I mean, I didn't make the rules. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's where we at. So what you gonna do? Man, look. Back when I was hanging out with our boy, look, man, I'm not competing with him. I'm not competing with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not playing big bank
because because I'm gonna get to that because it's like because it's like for example like Nights Out with Shams, it's like it's a fucking movie, and to us that know him, we're like it's just fucking Shams. Like when he's taking his clothes off and dancing, like we know him that, but then to the outside world, they're like, oh my god, like, and I'm just sitting there going, I'm like, I don't look at him that way. Like I have girls like freaking, I'm like, it's just fucking Shams. Like I'm not.
But look. Here's what's crazy about this. Check it out. There's always one guy who wants to compete with Shamar,
and you ain't gonna win that fucking battle.
You gonna look, and look at that. You gonna look goofy than a motherfucker.
Yep.
And everybody is gonna think you're the biggest idiot ever. The whole idea of competing. Yeah, we can have. Okay, we can be motivated by people. We would have.
And that's the thing, motivation. Exactly that.
Motivation.
Motivation.
Day, you gotta run your own race, man. You can't look over at somebody else and No, man, it don't work that way.
But that's the thing, and that's the problem is that like I've always said like this industry, there's a big enough plate to eat off of, and when you look at, for example, like holding it down for like Team Light Skin, it was Shams and it was Christoph. Yeah. My brother, rest in peace. And then you had on the dark skin side of Primetime, you had Tay Diggs, because that guy's Mr. Reinventation of everything. Like no matter what you throw at that guy, he can do it. And then you had, and then there was people always say, well, when we get another Denzel. And I was like, forget another Denzel. Like we already had Denzel. We already there already is a Shamar Moore. There already is a Christoph. But what I do is like when I see my brothers and my friends, I've never been a hater. Like I'm always like, okay, like there's not a lot of us, but if one person does it right, like truly does it right, it opens the door for them to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we get another person a shot. And that's why for me, like when he toned down and took, obviously the producing aspect role of the show and was less of being out and partying, I was like, it's the best decision he ever made. Because now it gives him the opportunity to get in that room with those people that you would never really get the opportunity before because, as you know, the media, when he's out partying and this person's out partying and they forget that these people are human. Like they have a life outside of that. But because of social media, you're automatically judged into a situation where, we can't depend on that guy. We can, and the same thing for you. It's like if your clients are out partying the night before you have to train them, they're not going to get the same result because they're going to come in motivated, getting ready to work, and they're like, Marcus, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I want to go to bed, So like for you, like how do you like if you ever had that situation, especially being a trainer, like as you said, like competition wise, dealing with other people trying to chop out your knees from your business?
Oh yeah, all the time.
So how do you do it?
But see, it's not. I can't be faded like that. You can't. It's impossible. Prince said, "He who tries to play me plays themselves." I'm not. You can't. Man, I'm past that. Good luck. But people who do stuff like that, man, you never win. Like I don't have nothing to hide. I don't have nothing to be ashamed of. You can't play me. I've been doing this for way too long. I know what I bring to the table. My integrity, my knowledge, who I am as a person, that speaks for themselves. So anybody trying to come up under me, that right there is gonna fail. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? So, and then at the end of the day, if you win, bye. It wasn't for me anyways. I don't get into. I don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, man, look, I treat people right, man, and I go on about my business. You know what I'm saying? And I would hope that someone would do the same. But at the end of the day, yeah, I've had people, do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, like I'm not, whatever.
Yeah. So what I mean for you, like what for I mean, I know you have the program, Body by Marcus. For the people that don't know, and say, for example, someone was looking for a trainer, what is the definition of body by Marcus? Like, if you were to explain that to people, what are they getting with that?
They getting their best life, man.
Okay.
They getting their best life, because like I said, for me, it's bigger than exercise.
Okay.
For me, exercise is an extension of my personality.
Mm-hmm.
It is a way for me to have a checks and balances with myself. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? A lot of people think I work out because I want to look good and I want to have that. Nah, man, that's actually not even maybe the top 2 or 3 reasons. Of course,
Okay.
it matter. You want to look good and you want to, I know I want to look. I want to look pleasing and feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not it, man. What it is I feel better.
Okay.
I'm feeling my best. You ever show up to meet someone and you ain't feeling your best? You ain't got your nails done. You ain't your hair, your breath stink. You ain't got your right fit on. That's how it feels when I don't exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the way it is. Your body needs to release and move and stretch, right? And get those sort of endorphins going. And then here comes the challenge, because you can't get something without nothing. You got to sacrifice something to get it. You can't stay out all night and exercise regularly. You can't eat whatever you want regularly and get the results. That's the reason why I exercise. It's more of a mental thing for me, right?
Okay.
It's just like, being able to set a goal, stick to it. It's going to cost you something. And typically what it's going to be is something negative. You got to give something up. And you have to literally invest in yourself, right? And pour into yourself. And it's interesting because we spend so much time pouring into other people. We'll watch we'll sit on the couch and watch someone else's show and make someone else rich. Then we will, make our bodies rich and make our health rich, right? And so for me, that's what it's about, because you'll start to see, as I've been doing this, right? There's a relationship between someone's perspective on exercise and someone's perspective on other things in their life that they don't particularly like, right?
Okay.
And so that's what I start to, because it's really a life thing, man. It's like, people show up. How do you deal with coming to do something that you don't like? How do you deal when weight is on you and it's being pressed upon you and you've got to breathe through that, right? And so man, let me tell you something. Exercise will tell you, how do you lie? How you gonna lie out of a commitment that you made to yourself? That's big, man. We said we want to do this and we want to do that, and then next thing you know, we're making excuses out of something man, please don't do that to yourself.
What do you think is more important to the body? Mental health or physical health?
Mental health. By far. Explain
why. Why you think so?
Because if you got your mental health, you can control the body. That's, man, mentally strong is a monster. That's who I love to train. That's good fertile right there. That's who I love to work with. Mentally strong. Because if you're mentally strong, see, it's a different beast when I'm dealing with somebody who's mentally there. Sign them results up. We gonna have some results coming in hot. Because they want it so bad. I can smell it. I know. I've been doing it.
But how do you deal with someone that's wants to be physically healthy, but they're not mentally healthy? Would you take them on as a client?
That's where the work comes in. And so I literally have to lead by example. I have to be very honest. I have to say things that are uncomfortable. I have to have uncomfortable conversations. Right?
So how did you become a trainer? Like how did you become like a personal trainer? Like what was the journey for you, and like what were your, like how did you become where you're like, okay, I got a gift here? How did you know?
I remember one day I was working for LA Fitness.
Okay.
And
you froze. Hold on, you froze.
Uh-oh.
You're frozen.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, now you're good.
Okay. So I was working at LA Fitness this one time, one particular time, and the VP there, he was like, I was like selling training, and he looked at me and he said it. He kind of linked in and he said, you know, Marcus, you could make a real good, you can make a real killing in this business, you know. And when he said that to me, I knew that he wasn't talking about LA Fitness. He was like, you could really, and I started to think about it, right? And that's when it kind of, and then you know what? I met a guy in Pasadena. His name is escaping me, but he had me one day. I went to go meet him about training. This was a black guy. He was doing very well, and he said, "Marcus, have you ever thought about running your business online?" I said, "Yeah, I've thought about it." And he said, "Well, why haven't you done it?" And so I gave all these excuses, right? And he shot them down one by one by one by one. And he said to me, "Here's what I want you to do." He was a mentor of mine, and he said, "I want you to go research Billy Blanks. I want you to go research Richard Simmons. I want you to go research all these different trainers, and then I want you to tell me how they did it. What you know?" And as I researched these trainers, I kind of figured I could do that. I could do that in my own way. I could do that. Yes, absolutely. And so from there, man, it's just about, and then it's just about doing it, right? Which I still work on every day, you know, because it's nonstop. When you work for yourself, it's nonstop, and I like to get it all done in one day.
Welcome, guys, who are just joining in. This is another edition of Hot Topics Radio TV. We're Hot Topics Radio TV After Dark. I am your host, Dteflon on the MIC. Tonight, joining us, celebrity trainer Marcus Smith is in the building. Don't forget, you can find us on iHeartRadio. Also, if you missed this podcast, tune in this Saturday for the replay on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at HotTopicsCelebTV.com. Don't forget, you can also find us each and every Sunday for Sunday service. Hollywood actors, directors, producers in conversation with some of your favorite Hollywood legends present from the film and television industry. Don't forget, next Sunday, joining us for all you Power fans, a.k.a. Cooper Sack, Shane Johnson will be in the building. I am your host, as I said, Dteflon on the MIC. Don't forget, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So for you, like,
you can find me in the club, bottle from above.
For you, like, what would you say has been the biggest challenge you've had to face, not only just in life, but in the personal training business?
I really don't. Well, I don't really have any. It's not like, to me, honestly, this is easy, man.
But I mean, have you ever had a client where, like, you know, where, because I'm sure obviously there's some clients you have to motivate more than others.
Yeah.
And how do you, like, where they've just completely given up on themselves? Where do you find that inner thing to keep going, knowing full well they've put on themselves, where you're even more the point where you get to the point of frustration where you're like, fuck, this guy's just not doing, I know it's in him, but I can't get it out of him. How do you keep going to stay motivated?
I think that just comes from within, you know what I mean? Like honestly, man, my clients, I love them. You know what I'm saying? They're like little babies, you know, they like, you know what I mean? I know the impact that I have on them. And so I would never quit on my clients unless they were so dogged in their disregard, you know, for themselves. And they made it so clear that they just ain't effing with me. And there's only so much I can do. You know what I'm saying? Man, look, I will pull, I will kick, I will yell, I will scream, I will do everything I can. But there does reach a point where it's like, you know, if you don't want it for yourself, I can't do it for you. You know what I'm saying? I can show you how to do it, but I can't do it for you. And so that can be very frustrating. And honestly, man, it's not a good feeling. It sucks. I know for me, I get attached to my clients. You know what I'm saying? I want to see everybody, like, for real. I used to have this saying, I just want to see my clients win and stuff like that. But it's true. It's like, I'll be like, please just do it. Just do it. Man, it's like I wish I could do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I could do it for you. You know what I'm saying? I could give someone a roadmap and be like, okay, it's just like a roadmap. It's like if you want to go from here to Palm Springs, okay, you got to get on
Mm-hmm.
5. You got to take the 5. I can literally give that to someone, and for whatever reason, people will find an excuse to get to detour or to do this or to do that, and that's cool. We all do that in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's my job to kind of steer that course and just as best as they can, because at the end of the day, Kevin Hart said, he said, look, man, that moon is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the morning, that sun is coming up. And I don't know about you, D, but I don't know how many suns I'm gonna have. I don't know how many moons I'm gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
And so man, let's stop wasting time. Let's be dope now.
Mm-hmm.
I need mines right now. Hey, whoever want their dream body, come holler at your boy. I need you right
Listen,
now.
I plan to take you up on that, but it's
Oh, I wasn't
it's frightening at times because I've seen some of the cardio shit that you do, and I'm like, I don't know, because like, I mean, for me, and this is where I've always had this question, because again, when I was younger, I was heavily involved in sports, martial arts, did all that shit. I trained like a motherfucker. My ex was a fitness god. Her mom was a world-class bodybuilder. So when I was with her, my body was in the best shape of my life. I mean, even on nights when I was, tired as fuck, getting home at 4:00 in the morning, she's like, "Yo, going to the gym," and when I had someone there to, as you say, to hold you accountable, as much as I hated it, I was like, "Oh, I feel good." But then once we broke up, I just sort of was like, okay, I trained the way that I did in fight training. It was like I did a lot of cardio then, but it was like train for the fight, and then take some time off.
Yeah.
Train for the fight. It wasn't about putting on weight. And then what I realized is that, like, last year when I was trying to get, or I guess 2 years ago, when I was trying to get my mental health back into place, I was like, okay, I want to start working out again, because I was just starting to feel like shit, as you said. Like you go and you step into a room and you just don't. And I wasn't feeling good. My body wasn't feeling good. My, the abs that I used to have weren't popping the way they used to be before. And I was like, and then I started, like, I went on one of my friends' training thing, and then I was doing like fucking burpees, and then I did some other workout, and I ended up popping out my fucking pec, my shoulder, and I couldn't move for like 6 weeks. And it wasn't where it happened immediately. It was that I was doing something.
What's up, Monica?
And it was something that was for me was very simple for me to do before.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it anymore. And it was making me so fucking mad. I was getting so frustrated. I was like, this is easy. Like, I can do this. So I kept going, even though, and I didn't, and I remember I didn't stretch properly beforehand, which was the worst mistake I ever made. But I ended up in, because I was like, my friend was like, you got to ease back into it. I was like, no. I'm going to get right back in, because that's how I knew how to train before. It was always that explosive training. And then what scares me, because I've had a lot of people that I know, when they've taken that long period of time off training and they start reaching, towards that 50 plus mark in their life, like me, I'm like, okay. And then what happens, I'm watching friends of mine between the ages of 40 and 55 dropping like flies. Like they're trying to get back in. I mean, even something like where they get a trainer like you, and they start working out again, but then all of a sudden they die of a heart attack, because, and even like, I'll give you an example. You can look it up. You can look it up. This guy named Shadow, who was a bodyguard in the industry, was 6ix9ine's bodyguard. He was Jake Paul's bodyguard recently. This guy was, he trained every day just like you. He went to the gym every day just like you, was athletically fit. And then 2 weeks ago, he's in Gold's Gym in Miami, and he ends up having a heart attack at 45 years old.
Okay.
While working out. And he was perfectly, like, in shape. And that, to me, is like, it scares me. I'm like, I don't want to go out that way. Like, is there a way to, do you feel that there's an age limit if you try to get back in the game again, that you can push yourself too hard?
I mean, overtrain. If we're talking about overtraining, then
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I would also mention that it's possible that some of these people may have already had some preconditions, that maybe existed outside of exercise because, you know, you know, exercise is known, right, to help
Mm-hmm.
improve your overall health, whether it
Okay.
be cholesterol, diabetes. I mean, we can go up and down the line, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's that I don't know if it's the exercise necessarily that are getting these people, or if it's the fact that they maybe need to get their weight down, and maybe the clock just has gone out on people. That
Mm-hmm.
said, you know, um, I would never. There's certain. Basically, you want to be safe when you're training, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
never hop into something dynamic and
Mm-hmm.
explosive like that without taking someone through a progression. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and checking in with someone and making sure that it's ready for that. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to have a 50 or 60-year-old man doing a bunch of squat jumps
Mm-hmm.
when cartilage, is this something functional that he's going to be doing in real life? If
Mm-hmm.
not, why are we doing it, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
always want to kind of design your training around things that people do in everyday life, right?
Okay.
If I'm training an athlete, that's something completely different. So you always want to try and find that good mix of, okay, what's the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the safest way and the quickest way to get us there without,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you want to look at that, and so it's called progressive overload in training.
Okay.
So you want to progressively overload, so that you're not just throwing a bunch of, throwing a kitchen sink at somebody. You know what I mean? Because that is how injuries happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't, man. Let me tell you something. I just had a realization.
Because I want to train with you. I'm just scared of your cardio, man.
Oh no, man! Look, I wouldn't even, man. Look, and here's the other thing. I do believe that there's a lot of intuitiveness that comes in training. I got to be
Mm-hmm.
looking at you. I got to be seeing how you're breathing. I got to be
Mm-hmm.
checking in. I got to be cognizant of how you feel. Oh, I got to be aware of all of
Because
that.
I have underlying conditions, and that's the thing, and that's for me is like like I bike a lot now, but like I said, when I was training before the fight, my cardio was crazy, but I'm not that guy no more. I ain't throwing hands the way I used to.
Well,
So
yeah,
now things have changed where for me to even go running for 5 minutes, I'm like I feel like I'm having a fucking stroke, and then there's days where I'm like, okay, I feel really, really good. But then there's other days where I'm like, as I said, if I'm training and I'm like, I can't do, because everything hurts. Like all day long, every day, back hurts, neck hurts, arms hurt, elbows hurt. Because I put and you know as well as I do, when you're in this business, the
mm-hmm.
sacrifice,
Right.
you don't fucking sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You sleep when you're dead. You are up hours of the night. You're
Right.
working. You're grinding. You're busting your ass. So
Mm-hmm.
your health takes a back seat. And I'll admit, my health took a back seat big time. And now that, as I said, where I'm like, I look at myself and I'm like, fuck, and that's why I was Buck Shams. I'm like, yo, your black ain't cracking anytime soon. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, what you're drinking, but I'm like, I can't keep the fuck up anymore. Like before, I always felt like, hey, I'm not as you said, I'm not in competition.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, I can
yeah.
fucking hold my own, but I'm like, dude, I can't, I see him in the gym doing things. I'm like, and I'll go, and literally, he'll put up a video. I'm like, okay, let me go try. I'm in the ground,
No,
legs back.
but see, here's the thing that people don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's another reason why I stay in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you stop,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can hold on to a little bit of something. So you hold on. But man, the reality of it is there's no way I'm coming back in there. Recently, this happened to me where
Okay.
I was like, yo, it's taking me a whole lot longer because my quote unquote best, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in there twice a day. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. I'm going super hard
Mm-hmm.
not all the time, but pretty
No,
regular.
you go. I watch your shit, man. You go pretty hard the majority of the times. Whatnot. I see you going from the gym to your little shake spot where you buy your energy drinks. You got your bandana on, and then you come out. and then you'll train somebody, and then you'll be doing the boxing cardio, and then you'll switch it up, then you'll be yelling at some girl, and then you'll be back on the thing. And I'm like, this guy's this. I mean, it's a thing, and I love it because I'm like, it's you've got a routine going.
Right.
You know, it's a steady routine, and that's the thing for me. It's not where I don't want to train, but it's just that like my motivation has always been, I have to have some. We don't have to be working out together, but you got to be with me. Like, yo, like D, we're going to the gym right now. Like, if me and you live next door, I'd be like, okay, let's do it. But if no one's calling me and saying, hey, D, go to the gym, because I mean, there's some things that you have posted, and I'm like, and I've gone to your website before in the past, and I was like, you know what? Let me try to. And that's when I was trying to ease into it. So I was like, I watched certain things you would do, and I was like, okay, let me go. But my was like, I'm like, how long is the guy doing it for? Because for me, I'm like 5. I mean, I challenge myself, but it's not the same because again, I'm used to having.
But look. I would just say this. See, this is the reason why people have to be careful about what they see on social media.
Okay.
Right? Because there's a lot of BS that look, I'm guilty of it. You know, we all play the social media game. But there are clients that I have. I literally show up. I take them through a bunch of assisted stretching, and that's it. We don't touch nothing. So I customize every single movement, everything based on who I'm dealing with. Right?
Okay.
So that's the way it should be, right? If someone is in pain or their back is hurting, I'm not going to sit them down and have them do a bunch of overhead presses. You know what I'm saying? So you have to you know, for me, right? It's like I'm always checking in. I'm filling them out. How do you feel? That's the first thing I ask any client. How you feeling? You know what I'm saying? Because that is going to affect your training. Did you sleep last night? Did you eat good? How's your mental? And those things matter. And so, you know, and by the way, there's no cookie cutter. Training and personal training is very much that. It's very personal. So you have to be able to progress and regress a workout at any given time based on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And so you like I said, who moved my cheese? You may show up with a game plan. Oh yeah, I got this bomb ass training. Oh yeah, I got this bomb ass program at off the hook. Right? And then my client today said he had a wrist. He's like, man, I'm not touching anything with this wrist. I don't know what I did. No problem. No problem. And people want to hear that. You would hate to. Oh, I'm tired. Hey, screw that, man. We doing 18 sprints. What? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. You got to be adaptable, and you got to be able to work. The game is not it's not my way. Right? It's how can we accomplish this for a sustained period of time? Man, look, I'm not hurting nobody. My clients ain't getting not on my watch. I cannot. My money's affected. Your health is affected. No, I'm not with that. And not only that, it sucks, man. You go in there trying to do something positive for yourself, and then you injure yourself. That's not cool. So for me, it's always safety first. I would rather pull back just out of caution than to put somebody at risk. You know what I mean? Because that could mess up. That's what sophomores do. That's what rookies do. You coming in there, you don't know, you experiment with stuff. That's stuff for the birds, man. Ain't nobody got to be dead. I don't have time to be sick or hurt. You know what I mean? Real talk.
So I know. So I know. Obviously, you know, you dabbled into the acting and stuff like that. I know that you had created this hilarious fucking character. Tell people about that character that you created.
Man, that was a while ago. That was 6 packs back. That was a fitness guy who, you know.
Where can people who haven't seen it, can they see it on YouTube? Can they find it somewhere?
Yeah, if you go.
Okay, so tell them.
You got to type in the number 6, or it might be SIX. So it's 6 packs back. BACK. Did I get it? 6 packs BACK. 6 packs back. And then you type in my name on YouTube. I'm sure you're going to find a whole bunch of stuff. However, comma.
Ladies, it's if you haven't seen it, it's fucking hilarious. It should have been honestly turned into a fucking show. So like for you, like with the acting, like what was that like? For example, as you making the transition, obviously, into a trainer, what did you find the harder medium?
What
The
did I
acting or the harder medium? The acting or personal training?
Acting by far. See, to me, acting is easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything in life is not, nothing in life is that complicated, to be honest.
Okay.
However, I have more control with training. I
Mm-hmm.
can control, um, there's a certain calculation, right, that I just
Mm-hmm.
feel more comfortable with when it comes to training, right? It's like I can get hard-earned cash. I can get paid pretty quickly, right? Based off of my efforts and hey, X, Y, and Z, get clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with acting is very different because you don't really have that much control over a whole lot. Even though they're really the same,
Mm-hmm.
you can't make someone come train with you, just like you can't
Mm-hmm.
make someone give you a job. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's more opportunity out there with training to put yourself in a position, right, to put a roof over your head. Versus
Mm-hmm.
acting, it's like it's all or nothing, and you sitting on pins and needles hoping you get a job, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't come. See, and for me, one day I'll end up back in front of that camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just
I told you, dude. When you want to get back in front of the camera, I want to turn that character into a fucking show. Like straight up. Like I see something with that character,
yeah,
and just to me, like you know, the way that you executed that specific character. Like I see, like it's almost like Big Mama's house. You know, becomes with a mix of Medea, and it's
yeah,
got that comedy. But I think it's something that like as you said, like working out should be fun.
right,
Should be and we haven't had that Richard Simmons type of trainer with that type of energy in years.
right,
You had the Billy Blanks, you had all these other ones, but it's like it's not where to me something and I love about that character. It's like it's something for the hood
right.
because our race, we deal with probably obesity more than any other race. That
Yeah.
we deal with we're the ones eating the fried stuff more than anybody. So a lot of
And,
times you feel people that are not taking, and I think this is a way for you know
and you know what, you're right, and it's a great way to also educate people because at the end of the day, man, that's the main reason why I wanted to do it is because everybody is no one wants to be preached at
mhm.
all the time, right? And so I love, and by the way, I took that from Richard Simmons, right?
Okay.
Richard Simmons was a performer. He was an
Hmm.
actor. He had a way of delivering information by making you laugh and making you
Hmm.
smile and telling the stories, right? And so Richard Simmons, man, that dude was dope, man.
So what
um
I because what I loved about that character was for you was that it allowed him to embrace his own humility.
right.
Like he wasn't like he was like he wasn't afraid to be who he was, and that to me I think is the biggest hurdle
Mhm.
that people who are obese or in those situations who don't want to train, like they
Mhm.
in their mind they want to train,
Right.
but in their mind again they fight on the other side of the brain. I don't want someone to make fun of me, someone to look at me and think
Oh
I'm
my
sort of
God.
some sort of
I,
freak, and
yo,
and
I
that's
just, yeah.
what we're about to say.
Well, I was just gonna say, I just went through that with a friend of mine. He was like, I don't want to go to, I don't want to go to Gold's Gym because it's too intimidating. And I hate to be a hard ass, but I don't jive with that, man.
Hmm.
I don't. Why? I just don't believe in fear. I don't believe in any of that. I think that's just a bunch of bullshit, man. It's just a bunch of, and I get that everyone's not
Hmm.
confident, and like I get all of that. But you mean to tell me you're not gonna go take care of yourself because you're intimidated? You're a grown ass man.
Hmm.
You just sat here and told me about how badly you want to get in shape. Your shoulder messed up. You're walking like a hunch. You're walking like a gremlin, right? But you won't go because of somebody else that you've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like to me, that's and a lot of people do that.
Mm-hmm. Because people are
Like,
so easily judged by the opinions of others. That's the problem, as I said, like with society now. Like nobody talks to each other, talk about each other, but they don't talk to each other to actually like realize that like the person that you see, as I said, on the TV, that you put on a pedestal. As you said in the earlier part of the conversation, there's no difference between me and them. No difference between you and them. There's no difference. There's no difference between, me and you may have two separate career paths, two separate directives of things that we're passionate about. But what we have in common, me and you, is that you went after your dreams of things that you were passionate about. You did trial and error. You were like, okay, did this thing, wasn't really sustainable for me. So let me figure out what my strengths are and utilize, because you're doing sort of the same thing. Like, as you said, when you're a trainer, you're a performer in a way, because you've got it. Like, even on your hard days when you don't want to get out of bed and you're fucking tired, you're like, oh, I got to fucking train a client. And you may not be even in the mood to train that client, but they're paying you money and you got to turn that fucking switch on. Just like when you're on set, you could be having the worst goddamn day, but as soon as that light goes on, it's like, okay, I got to handle my bit. And that's why that's the main reason why I would say, like, for us as actors, entertainers, why we become that, because it allows us to be someone other than ourselves for however long that take takes, or however long that shoot takes. Same way when you're looking at someone on TV, like, people, as I said, they look at the glory of a person, but don't know the story of a person. They don't know what they went through. They don't know the challenges and battles that they faced to get to that next level. So, like, for you, like, as I said, like what when you're having those down days, what keeps you driven?
Losing. You know what I'm saying? I don't like losing, man. I just don't like, and I'm working on this other song. But anyway, I have a thing where I just don't like to waste time, man.
Okay.
If you've ever lost someone or you've ever lost something, right? Then you start to appreciate time with people, time with yourself, time with time. This moment that we having right now, I ain't gonna lie, D, I'm tired of the month.
No, I can see. I'm not gonna let you go. I'm gonna go soon. I can see you fading.
But that said, I appreciate the time. And by the way, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome, man.
For real, bro.
I actually want to have you on again, because I have another trainer that I want to have you both on to just sort of see different perspectives from different trainers and what their takes are on things, whatnot. But continue.
But yeah, that's what keeps me motivated, man. Is second. I don't want to be second. I don't want to be second in line. I need mine right now. So when I feel like, oh, baby, nah, doggy, nah. That's because at the end of the day, ain't nobody gave me nothing. I work for every day. When they say self-made, you can go ahead and give me that sticker, and you can go ahead and slap that thing across my chest. I get my ass up every day. Fix it. Whether I don't have nobody giving me no pep talks. See. I was gonna say this to you, D. What if you're not able to get someone to hold you accountable? You know what I'm saying? It's a scare. Like, I had to, like, I was in this situation, right? And it was a relationship. I had to just put that out there. The person left. Been there. Best thing that ever happened to me, because what I learned is that you can't put your at the end of the day, man, you know what I want? I want a bunch of bad chicks, and I want to be Dirk Diggler and be in the NBA, and but at the same time, as long as I can control it, I'm good with it, right? Once I start saying, well, I need, and I start looking for these out. Now I have no control, right? So if I don't have any control, then that means I'm void of responsibility, right? If I need something that I can't get, then that means, well, I didn't have what forget all that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, this is what I preach to my clients. Is it's like, yo, get it done. Because you know, if you can't count on yourself, you can't. How you go? You should count on yourself more than you count on me. Because I know I count on me more than I count on it. Did I count on anybody else? You know,
but as you said, you know, when trying to find that person for like motivation, who's that person for you?
Me.
So like, I'm saying, if you're going through some shit, and you're like,
everybody that's ever been in my life done probably disappointed me at some point or another. Done let me. That's just how it happens. I got a couple homies. I ain't gonna lie. I got a couple dogs in my life. I got a couple pit bulls motherfuckers, you know, that I fuck with. But at the end of the day, man, I can't put that on them. That's not their job. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody to hold me down for me to feel adequate and me to feel like I can poke my chest out. I got myself. I don't need nobody.
No, I get that. But
the only reason why look, I had this one client, and I'm not gonna say the name, but she knows what I'm talking about. She says to me, "I'll feel better when I drop X amount of pounds, right?
Okay.
I'll be able to do this when no. You got it all wrong, right? You gotta see yourself there now. You know what I'm saying? I saw myself having abs before I had them. You know?
Yeah, because it's like I train when I train my clients, whether it's actors or models or whatever.
Yeah.
I always teach them the formula. Think as if.
Right.
Think as if you're the president of the fucking United States.
Right.
Think as if you got $1 million in the bank. Because the job, what you do, is easier to obtain when you have the mindset you already have it already than it is to chase. Because most people, when they're trying to chase something, they'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll do whatever they got to do to get to that point. And I look at people and I look at students, I'm like, this is my classroom. You're my students. When you walk into my classroom, you automatically have an A. The A is already there. But it's up to you to keep that A.
Right.
And for most people in life, it's harder for them to keep an A than it is for them to earn one. Because again, they'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll do whatever to fucking get ahead.
Man, we could talk about this forever, man. I would say one thing, D, and I got to go.
Yeah.
But look, I talk about this all the time. Women are some of the most fascinating. And I'm going all the way left on this, but man, let me tell y'all, any women that's on this, I love y'all. Y'all are some of the most amazingest creatures ever invented in life, and some of the most powerful. But what happens is they give that power away. And once they give that power away by doing certain things, right? It's hard to get it back. It's hard. It's hard to get it back. I'm telling you right now. The most lethalest, strongest species on the planet is a freaking
female. Yep.
Point blank. Period.
Dude, they put up with harassment. They bleed, pregnancy, sexual harassment, rape. I mean, you name it, they deal with it. Babies, carrying babies for 9 months, like all of these things that women do, to me, it makes them superhuman. Like they're superheroes. Like, and it's one of the things that I feel that like society has failed in so many ways of lifting up queens. Like, because the problem is, what I find in retrospect to what you said, it's not where they let themselves go or make that wrong decision, is that women have been trained, a lot of them, into the mentality, and you hear it all the time. I need to find my my prince, or I need to find a guy that treats me like a princess. And I'm always like, no. You need to get your mindset of not being a princess. You got to be a queen, because you got to remember, if you're looking for the prince, look at any gladiator movie. The prince is the playboy. He's never going to be the king, because if you remember the movie Gladiator, you always watch Caesar. He's the guy that's got all the girls and the parties and shit. And when there's that old king who's about to die, and he's looking for that leader, who does he go to? He goes to the gladiator, because the gladiators earn the respect of the people to eventually be king. The playboy, the old king, knows, I can't trust him with the kingdom. I can't trust him with the fortune. And that's what women need to understand. It's like they need to get themselves out of this mentality and settle for nothing less than having a king. Man, and having
let me tell you something. See, I come from a different place, man. Once I hear somebody say, I'm looking for, now you have power gone. Right? Because now you don't, that doesn't sound whole to me. Right? Sounds like you were looking for something to complete you. So in other words, you looking, let's say it's me. Okay, so let's
say it's you. So let's segue into that, and then we'll close it out. Let's segue into that. Is that for you, like, what is the thing that captivates you for the ideal woman for you? There's a woman out there on this live right now seeing this thing. What is that thing?
Are we being honest here?
We're being 100%. This is what we do here. Hot topics off the record, baby. After dark. Everything is real here.
Oh man, make it nasty. Drop it on a pimp. Make it noir. No, I'm just playing. Not really, but because for real, you got spice to the. You got to bring some spice to the. You got to bring some spice to the party. Because I get bored. Let me tell you something. I've been hold my 40-something and some change. Listen, this ain't my first rodeo. So you're gonna have to bring some fairy dust, and pom-poms, and do something irregular. Because
irregular as in what? What do you mean?
I don't know. Do a handstand, backflip.
We talking sexually, or we talking just?
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
Bring the shit. Bring the whole. Because at the end of the day, we only got one life, and at the end of the day, that sun's coming up, and I gotta go to work. You know what I'm saying? So we could be making some money, or we could be sitting here doing it. I don't do the dead salmons. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I do. That's not what I do. Okay, you go get your backbone. No, I'm saying no, but no, on the real though, what I need is somebody to I don't just honestly, man. Why you ask me that question? Because this is gonna sound really bad. Just somebody cool, man. Like you know, I think a lot of times people feel like we need to like do something, or we need to like talk a whole lot, or like yo, I'm talking a lot because we doing.
But how do you deal? For example, you being a trainer, you don't just train men, you train women. I've seen you train some pretty fucking hot chicks.
Yeah.
So if you're in a relationship. Have you ever had? Because I know, I mean, in this business, we deal with it all the fucking time.
Of course.
Like, if you like, have you ever had that issue come up where it's like a woman has a problem with you training a hot chick, and she says to you like, "Hey, I don't want you training that girl." So what do you do in that situation?
That relationship is over. Because see, I can't operate. I can't. I'm not even gonna entertain that. That's such a low level. I would never see. I wouldn't even allow myself to feel something like that. And if I did, I certainly wouldn't say nothing, because you gotta. If you can't trust the person you're with, then you shouldn't be with them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get into all of that, man. That's just that. What are we in, preschool?
Have you ever hurt a woman that you didn't know that you hurt her?
Huh?
Have you ever hurt a woman that you didn't know that you hurt her?
I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have. But you know what? I'm pretty cognizant of what of where I'm moving and how I'm stepping. And so I'm not 90%. If I'm hurting somebody, I know exactly how I did it, when I did it, why I did it. You know, we all do that. See, that's the thing, right? We all people are of intent, right? But then when the feelings get involved, then we start making it see, well, maybe it was just a no. When people show you who they are, women, when dudes show you who they are, believe them. It ain't Chinese math.
Okay, so exactly what you said on that. So this is a question that you as a guy, we fuck with each other. We know the same people. So I've had this question because, as you know, when you're in the business and you're around people that, you know, do their thing, and you could be a guy like who's, you know, just sort of sits back and like, okay, you do your thing and I'm gonna do my thing. And say their thing is having multiple women. Say their thing is you have a friend that you know is a serial cheater. And you're like, look, if a chick's gonna act like a hoe, be a hoe. Because again, like I can use certain examples of people that we know where, you know, they'll be making out and a girl comes to me like, well, why is he doing that? Why is he sticking his tongue down? And I'm like, because he fucking can. Right. Because I'm like, if you're stupid enough to let him stick his tongue down your throat and then him go to the next girl and then the next girl and do that right in front of you, then that's your stupidity. Like, I can't control what someone does, but if you are in a situation, I'm asking you, and this is where I because always, you know, there's the bro code, that people say, the bro code. But let's just say, for example, you're in a situation, one of your boys. You got a really close girlfriend, class act girl, really good heart, really good person. And then all of a sudden, one day she's out and she happens to run into, because we all have the guy friend. We all have the scumbag friend. The guy he's cool to fuck with, but he's a scumbag when he treats women. Like he dogs them, he does, you know, dirty shit to them. But you got a girlfriend that you know is your friend, loyal to you, down to you, has your back, ride or die with you. And somehow she entangles the view of this really shitty person who you know is a dog. You know this is not going to end well because this guy cannot keep he's not a one-woman guy.
Okay.
Would you allow your good friends to get hurt and have her heart broken by this person? Or would you say, yo, this ain't going down, bro code out the window, I gotta check my friend and be like, yo, you can fuck with any other girl, just don't fuck with my good friend and mess them up? What would you do?
I'm gonna let her go ahead and do what she need to do. You know, now if she asks me my opinion,
okay,
then that's a different thing.
Okay, she asks your opinion.
But you know, I think you also have to be careful about how you finesse that too, right? Because you don't want to hate on your boy, right? But then you also want to keep it square and keep it 100 with your lady friend. And so that is going to take a little bit of finessing, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm not throwing no shade on nobody. I'm gonna take it out the way, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna be honest. If the person if the person warrants, you know, my honesty. See, this is why I try to stay. Man, listen. I don't, as a matter of fact, don't tell me nothing.
You're like me, you know, now, bro.
Hey.
You're like me now. Don't tell me nothing. Man. Trust me, I feel you. No, because I've been in those situations, and what I've learned in those situations, no matter what you tell them, they don't listen. Like they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and then what pisses me off is when you tell them, and then they get hurt, and they blame you afterwards, going, "Yo,
okay, you just took the words out of my mouth. No good deed goes unpunished." And here you are trying to be the good guy. See, I'm done with that, yo. Y'all,
you reach a certain point
on their own. I can maybe give you a little snippet without, you know what I mean, without hating on my mans and all that. But at the end of the day, you got to take that ball and dribble with it. If you want to take that ball, go dribble with it. Go ahead, Michael Jordan. Have fun with it. I'm gonna holler at you. D, I love you, dog.
Yeah. So before you go, I want you to say, this is Marcus Smith, celebrity trainer. You can find me right here on Hot Topics, celebtv.com. So I'll count you down in 3, 2, 1.
Yo.
No, I need you to do the plug before you go.
Oh, hey, hey, what up, y'all?
Before you go. So you're gonna say hi. This is Marcus Smith. Also, tell people where they can find you as well if you have a website or whatever. And then at the very end, so we'll do 2. Tell people before you go, Marcus, where they can find you either on a website or social media.
Y'all can find me at www.probodybutmarcus.com. You can find me in a gym near you. You can find me wherever you want to find me for the right price. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to get these results. So if you bowdy, then let's get like Master P and get rowdy. My name's Marcus Smith. Nice to meet y'all. Come check me out. www.probodybutmarcus.com, Los Angeles.
Okay, so now we do the last plug will be, hi, this is Marcus Smith, celebrity trainer. You can find me right here on HotTopicsCelebTV.com.
Hi, this is Marcus Smith. You can find me here on HotTopicsTV.com.
No, Celeb TV.
CelebTV.com?
Yeah. So 5. Yeah,
Hi,
HotTopicsCelebTV.com. So I'll count you down in 3. HotTopicsCelebTV.com. So I'll count you down in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, y'all? This is Marcus Smith. You can catch me at HotTopicsCelebrityTV.com. Come check me out.
All right, my brother. I love you. Go get some sleep. Let's do this again, and I'll hit you up later on, whatnot. But go get some rest, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, man. Talk to you.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you for another edition of Hot Topics After Dark. I'm your host, Dteflon. You can follow me at DTEFLON. Don't forget, you can join us each and every Sunday for Sunday service on HotTopicsCelebTV.com. Don't forget, upcoming this Sunday, joining us from the Power Series, Shane Johnson, a.k.a. Cooper Sachs. And you can find this podcast, if you missed it tonight, tune in this Saturday, 8 p.m., HotTopicsCelebTV.com. You can find us on YouTube and on Facebook, but hit the subscribe button in the bio here, and we will see you next week. Peace.